Welcome to Stranger in a Strange Land, episode 1. Today, I'm going to share the story of the most life-changing event that happened in my life, and that was when I went to prison. I was 25 years old, and I had just moved from California back to Iowa. I'd been living in California for about 8 years, and when I lived out there, I was pretty much drinking and off and on doing drugs. I got to a point where I just couldn't stop with the drugs, and usually I was able to stop if I really wanted to. I spent most of my time doing drugs not wanting to stop, but when I really wanted to, I usually could, and I just found that I couldn't. So I went back to Iowa. My family was all there, and I kind of used that as a way to change my environment, get off the drugs and everything. I was still drinking, I smoked weed, stuff like that, but I was finally starting to get my life together. I started going to college and things. Then one night, I went with my brother to this house where his child was staying, the child's mom. His kid was 3 at the time. I went over there to pick up the kid, see if we could take him home for the weekend. And when we got over there, the kid's mom answered the door, and my brother had been drinking and she knew that, so she was a little hesitant at first, and I told her, I haven't been drinking, I'll be fine, we're just gonna drive back over to my grandma's house. Ryan will be fine for the weekend. She was about to give us the kid, I know, because she wanted a weekend alone, when the guy who lived at the house came out and grabbed a baseball bat and cocked it back and said, "You guys need to get the hell out of here." And it was one of those like truly fight or flight situations. I saw that bat get cocked back and I just knew I didn't want to get hit with it. So I grabbed the bat, and when I grabbed it, he yanked back, which pulled me onto the porch, and it was like an enclosed porch of his house. And my brother came on the porch, and we both pulled him off of the porch, took the bat from him. We ended up beating the crap out of him, and then we took off. Well, a couple of hours later, we got pulled over, and they arrested me and my brother, and they took us to the county jail, where they told us that we were facing 35 years of prison time. So they were charging us with a first-degree burglary, which is entering an occupied structure with the intent to commit a theft or an assault. So they said that we went into the house with the intent to assault him, and then using a weapon in the commission of a felony. So using the baseball bat while we were doing the burglary. So here I am thinking, oh my God, I might not see the light of day until I'm 60 years old. I wasn't real familiar with how the judicial system worked. I'd spent a lot of nights in jail and weekends in jail, but it's always been for minor stuff. So I didn't know about the plea bargaining and the good time and all of that. So I had 3 days in county jail where I was just mental anguish. I just couldn't believe I'm 25 years old thinking I might not see the light of day until I was 60. And honestly, that was when my life changed. At that point, I knew, even if I'm locked up for 35 years, I can't continue living the way I've been living, or this is going to be my life. I saw my lawyer on day 3, and then he explained to me, well, realistically, with plea bargaining and good time, you would probably spend no more than 5 years inside of prison. Which, when it was all said and done, I ended up plea bargaining down to a 10-year sentence, which I spent 2 years locked up. Those were by far the hardest 2 years of my life. But before I even went to prison, sitting in that jail, I knew that I was done. My life was going to change. I knew I had to navigate prison without getting sucked in, and I knew when I got out, I had to do all of the right things. And now I'm just going to share a little song that I wrote about going to prison. System I've never liked filled me with hatred inspired. Prison is calling me, cause I got in a fight. A guy came out with a bat, thought he was tough and bad. Then I took it from him, started to beat his face in. My brother was there with me, he knocked him off his feet. He held him, I hit him, I held him, he kicked him until he was bloody. What was I to do? Let him kick my ass and my brothers too. I really don't think so. It's not how the story's gonna go. We fucked him up real good, way we thought we should. He called the cops and turned us in just because he could. We went and got some beer and hooted and hollered and cheered. We got pulled over, then it was over. We ended up in here. Now we're trapped like rats. Wish I could take it all back. I wish I hadn't ever grabbed the baseball bat. I wish I hadn't ever grabbed the baseball bat. I wish I had never grabbed the fucking baseball bat. Thanks for watching episode 1 of the Short Stories with Dr. Troy. I'm going to keep including short little 5 minutes or so videos, but I also want to expand into some longer videos with conversation and everything. But this series is going to be just short stories, so join me next time for episode 2 of Short Stories with Dr. Troy. Thanks.